Hello everyone, welcome back to Strong Compute Manager. We are finally getting all of the game mechanics in place for simulating the Strong Compute platform as a video game, which is going to be really exciting. We're going to show you what we've been working on in terms of that, and all the systems are finally coming together. So we've got two things to show you. One is our cost simulation, and two is our incoming job simulation. So when you've got all your infrastructure up, for example, we've got this very simple cluster here of just like 32 nodes. They're all going to cost something to operate. And we've got this cost window in the bottom that shows you how much money you currently have and what all of your expenses are. So infrastructure.
Let me just jump in for a sec there.
Yeah,
so
go.
We're going to have three modes for the product. We're going
That's
to
right.
have, you get to use this interface to control your live real assets, your actual GPUs. You get a sandbox where you can just arbitrarily decide how many GPUs you want to experiment with, look at what the system would look like. And then we're building this game mode. And in the game mode, you start with a limited amount of resources. So you can think of it as like a sandbox with extra constraints and extra features. And those constraints and features are designed to be a proxy for what you'd actually experience in your real work. So you're going to have some financial constraints, you're going to have some material constraints, and you're going to have some demand to get work done.
Yeah, that's right. So this is pretty much simulating those constraints for you. Having everything cost a certain amount to run is going to make you think about which resources you actually bring into play and where everything will end up running. You can see we've got that here. And in terms of demand, like you just said, your team, if you're operating a team using Strong Compute platform, there's going to be demand for experiments and jobs they want to run. And the game will have those simulated as well. So if we go up here for testing purposes, we can spawn a bunch of jobs. Let's say this person called Violet has a bunch of jobs, this person called Johnny and Judy, and they'll have jobs that they want to run. You can click on them and see all the stats of that. And to make it super easy for you as the ops guy to get everything running on all your hardware, you can just click and drag straight onto the space you want to run it on. So you can now see it's moved from being in the waiting queue of the demanded jobs to now it's actually on hardware and it's running.
Cool. All right. And I see there's the GPUs are now different colors as well, so that's another upgrade that's come through since last week. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the health data of these GPUs is being simulated. The new windows don't show all the health data yet, but we've been experimenting with different ways of visualizing that data. Basically, the simulation is kind of every second changing what the temperature is of the GPU. And you could see on these nodes that are actually running the job, those GPUs are running hotter, so they're a little bit more warm. Yeah. There's a bunch of different data we've got in terms of like memory usage, compute usage for each of the GPUs, and that can aggregate all the way up to the cluster level. Right now, we're experimenting with other ways of visualizing it than just a massive table of data.
Yeah, maybe the jobs should look like flames sitting on top of the warm embers of GPUs. Yeah, it should.
Little particles and lighting effects would look really, really cool. It would also be cool too if something is like at a really dangerous state, like it's almost overheating or something like that. Then you could show some really fancy stuff and say, "Hey, pay attention to this element."
Yeah, when the thermal throttles kick in, or when the
absolutely. Just to bring your attention to it, to be like, this isn't right. You should pay attention to this. Everything else is going well. You can see it's all nice and green.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. All right. So when can we play, Xander?
We're rapidly developing this, and we're going to have to make sure everything is nice and tight for you guys. Probably give it a couple of weeks before everything is nice and ready for you to jump in and try out the game.
Cool. All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.